Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, 28th day of January. Here we go. More continuation of laws in and around Shabbos and food prep, and here we go. We had told you yesterday that it's a good idea to try to open all packaging before Shabbos so you won't have all kinds of complications about opening packages on Shabbos, because different malachas could happen when you open a package on Shabbos. So it's a safe idea, if you can manage to arrange it, to open all packaging that you're going to use on Shabbos. Rav Belsky does say, though, that thin coverings, like let's say, yogurt has like a thin saran wrap thing just kind of attached to the top. He says that kind of situation, tearing that off in the middle of Shabbos is not considered as much of a problem, so a person could go right ahead and tear that kind of stuff, those thin little saran wrap type of coverings that are over yogurt type of things. Those would be okay. Similarly, that saran wrap stuff that just surrounds the packaging of a food, go ahead and tear that on Shabbos, says Rav Belsky, but do be careful to watch out if there are any letters there. You're not allowed to tear through letters because that's like erasing, so watch for that. Rabelsky says if there's a situation where you see a kind of packaging where, according to your rabbi, you shouldn't be tearing it on Shabbos, and you want that package open, so you go over to another Jew and you say this cheesy little line. You say, do you hold that it's permissible for you to open this packaging on Shabbos? So could you do it for me? He suggests that you don't do that. Well, you're getting another Jew to, you hold that this is wrong, and he's like glibly saying, well, I guess according to me it's allowed, so I'll just tear it for you. Rabelsky recommends that you don't do that. Next one, taping down switches or covers over fridge lights, any room lights. Of course, that's a no-brainer. Try to arrange that for Shabbos so you won't inadvertently be turning on lights on Shabbos. If you forgot to turn out the light inside the fridge and you know that, opening that fridge door is going to make a light go on, you can ask a non-Jew to open that fridge door for you. While you're at that, though, let's say that's on Friday night, and then he's not going to be available on Shabbos afternoon when you want to open that fridge again. So one of the things that you could do is you could hint to the non-Jew who's opening up your fridge for you with the bulb in it that's going to go on. You may want to hint to him to remove the bulb or loosen it for you so that you won't be running into this jam the rest of Shabbos. You are allowed to hint to that effect if necessary. And lastly, you know what a hot plate is? That's it's an electronic thing that you just leave down and it's hot, and you could put things on it, and they warm on Shabbos, and you have to speak to your rabbi about what you're allowed to put on it, when you're allowed to put on it, etc. But here's the thing I want you to know about these hot plates: they are often hot enough to be able to actually cook food, and therefore the fire, although you don't see a fire, but the heat that's coming out of that hot plate is treated like a fire. And who cares? I'll tell you why you care, because since it's treated like a fire, all fires on Shabbos, whenever you're going to be, using them in contact with food, they need to be covered. That was true in old-fashioned times, and it's true even today. When we have a fire going and you want to have food on top of that fire, it for sure has to be covered. So the best thing to do with a hot plate type of electronic thing is to wrap it in heavy-duty silver foil before Shabbos, so it'll be quote-unquote covered. And it's a good idea also to cover the knobs with silver foil or something that makes the knobs inaccessible, because that's exactly what we're doing in our modern way, according to what they used to do in their old-fashioned way. They had to be careful to cover the fire so they wouldn't stoke the coals or the flames, which would be a sin. So we have to be careful to not turn the knobs, which would be a sin. They covered their control parts to make sure that it wouldn't become, handled. So we have to do the same, and since our control parts are the actual knob on the hot plate, so we have to cover those kinds of things before Shabbos. Hope that made sense. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.